Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday morning. This is Mickey Taylor, and I am going to be bringing you Marketing Center Basics this morning. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining. And whoever is on the webinar at this moment, if someone could just double check in the chat box, let me know that you can hear me okay. We will go ahead and get started. Are you guys able to hear me? Or is it still a little bit too early for everyone? If you are on the webinar and can hear me, can you please just type in the chat section? Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you, Wes. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. During the webinar, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the chat section. I will work them in as we go. So we are going to first sign into our control panel. And to do that, you should be at the bottom of your website. You will receive your login screen. Go ahead and log into that. And then we are going to click on the left-hand side, Marketing Center, and it will take us to a new screen, which we will also have to log into. These login credentials are the same credentials that we just used to sign into our control panel. Okay, now that we are in the control panel, you are immediately brought to the dashboard. And what you will see on the dashboard is in the somewhat middle of the screen, you will have a quick start, which will give you just a little bit of information about how to get started, how to import contacts, how to start a campaign, and there are also helpful videos that you can also access from this screen. Over on the other side, anytime there's an update to the platform, you will see what it improved or what updates were provided. And there is also a contact legend. You can go down through if you want to see any of the other updates that were made and what they fixed. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see any queued campaigns that you might have, your recently saved campaigns, and how your last campaign performed. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to jump right in and go to contacts and start going through the different options for contacts. Okay, the first thing that I do want to mention is that you do have the option to generate leads from within your marketing center. And if you're following along, let's just go ahead and click Generate Leads. And you'll see that there's a Generate a Lead form screen that pops up in the middle. You can, when you're setting up a lead form, you can send the contact information to any of your lists that you have set up. Everybody defaults it to the master list because you should want, and it is pretty necessary to have your contacts in your master list. You can change up some of the look and feel of the form, and you can give it a name. Okay, you can change the name to whatever you would like, and then you can copy this iframe. You can turn this into a full website page, or I will show you in the demo site that I have, the lead generation form is automatically added to the footer. So let me pull up the demo. And at the bottom, you will see that we have implemented the newsletter into the footer of this demo. So you can either do that, or you can, like I mentioned, you can add it to the bottom of any other page, or you can make it a subpage if you are in the Pro version, or in Elite, you can put it anywhere you'd like. Okay, so that's a neat little tool that you should be taking advantage of at some point or at some place on your Agent Studio website. The next tab over is Add a Contact. So if you already have the majority of your contacts in the Marketing Center, I would like to applaud you, because that's great. You are taking advantage of all of the marketing that is automated by Agent Studio. So congratulations on that. And if you have all of them in, you will probably come in and add contacts as one-offs as you receive them. Okay, and you'll notice that the first name, last name, and email address are the only fields that are required. But I do suggest, if you have any of the other information, that you go ahead and add that information into the Marketing Center as well. Also, down at the bottom, there, if you've been on my other webinars, you know that my computer does not like to scroll occasionally, so be aware of that. It isn't within the platform, it's just my laptop. At the bottom, you can check off any travel interests that you know this contact or client has. And then once that information is filled in, you can scroll back up to the top and click Add Contact, and they will be added into your master list. The other way that you can import up to 500 contacts at one time, and the most efficient way if you have a lot of contacts that you need to import to get started, would be through our import feature. And you start that by downloading the template, which will give you the order in which the fields need, the order in which your data needs to be in order to have a successful import. It's very basic. It shows you the exact same fields that we just saw in the individual add client field. I don't know why, but this always takes a second for the Excel form to open up when I do this. And once it's open, you will see first name, last name, email, exactly the same information that we saw when we were adding one contact at a time. Once you have your data in here, some people have asked, do I have to type everything in here? No, if you aren't familiar with Excel, you actually can click and drag in whatever format or wherever you have the information and paste it into Excel. If you've exported from a different platform, usually it is either in Excel format or a CSV format, which CSV opens up pretty much the same way as an Excel file. You can copy each column and paste it in the right order. Okay, once you have that done and saved to your desktop or wherever you can remember it, all you have to do is click Browse. Let me get rid of this. Click Browse to find the file that you just created, possibly website or desktop or wherever you would have it. And click on that. It will import and list your file right here. Whoops, click too much. And then at the bottom, you also have the option of also checking off any travel interests. Now, one thing to remember is that when you are doing this, anything you're checking off at the bottom will be automatically checked for every contact that you have in that data file. So just be aware of that when you are checking off these interests at the bottom. And once you are done with that, you also at the top, if you have other lists created, those will show up. If you don't, it will automatically default to the master list, okay? And click import, and you'll see it's telling me, giving me an error that because I didn't have a file uploaded. But at the end, you would be given a total if you uploaded 500 contacts and 499 were successful and one wasn't. You would see that and be able to click and figure out. It will tell you whether the email address was bad, it's a duplicate, whatever the case might be. Once you have your contacts in, then you're ready to take advantage of, like I mentioned, the Agent Studio marketing that is done on your behalf. And one of those automated marketings will be the weekend travel. The weekend travel, and let me see. Actually, I don't want to open that. Let me open my mail. My email is actually all messed up in Outlook, so I can't access some of the previous ones, but I did receive a message or a newsletter this morning that I would like to share with you. Whoops. And let's see if it is. Hello. Let's see if my Mac mail is going to cooperate this morning. Here we go. Okay, the weekend travel. And if you've been on any of my other webinars about the Marketing Center, I had mentioned how every email from Agent Studio always shows up in my junk folder that was within Outlook, which I'm having issues. So you can see that it is only within Outlook. They don't show up in any other mail, and I've tested it with my daughters, my friends, on just about every platform. And this just proves that it is, in fact, just that, my Outlook, which it's crashed and dead, so doesn't surprise me. So what you have in front of you now is the weekend travel. What this is a newsletter that is automatically sent out every Thursday morning without fail by our family at Agent Studio. And what this consists of, you can see it will be branded with your agency name at the top. The first section will be the most popular news stories within the past 7 days. You will have a section that has the most popular deals within the past 7 days, and there will be a showcase or a destination spotlight down at the bottom. And then it is also branded at the bottom with your agency name. If anybody clicks this, the name at the bottom, they'll be taken to your homepage. If they click any of these news articles or promotions, they again will be taken right to that article or promotion on your website. Okay, and again, anybody that you have uploaded into your contact list will receive this email every Thursday morning. Let me jump out of this. Now, some people say, well, what if I don't want my clients to receive this newsletter? It is entirely up to you. You can turn this off by going into settings. I certainly do not recommend it because this newsletter has brought me a lot of business. When you meet somebody new, you exchange business cards. I am very cognizant as soon as we part ways. I add them immediately, whether it's on my phone, my iPad, my laptop. They are put immediately into my Marketing Center because they're going to lose my business card. You can bank on that. And by adding them into my Marketing Center, they will automatically start receiving the weekend travel the first Thursday after they're added. They'll always have a way to get in contact with me. So definitely that is the first thing that I always do without fail. I've met people at the airport. I know Mark Murphy has used this, my story a lot. I met a gentleman at the Atlanta airport. Our flight was delayed. We started up a conversation, exchanged business cards. I boarded. As soon as we got on the flight, I added him into my marketing center. He told me that he was recently engaged and they were getting married within the year and was going to be planning a honeymoon. So we discussed that. And of course, without fail, he lost my business card. Then he started getting the weekend travel, and he had a way to get in touch with me. He contacted me, planned him an amazing honeymoon, and that is only one of many that this weekly newsletter has brought me. So it's a great idea to utilize this, and it's free marketing. It gets your name, your business, your website in front of your clients every Thursday. We do have a question. For some reason, I can't hear anything at all. I've tried everything since I logged on. Shalita, let me see. Just let me type her a message since she can't hear. I do know that this platform it works. We haven't had any issues. So hopefully that will work for Shalita and she will be able to join us and hear what we are saying. Now somebody's raising their hand. Again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the chat section or the chat box, and I will work them into the webinar. Here's where, under settings is where you can turn off the weekend travel. And again, I strongly hope that nobody does. It's free marketing. I don't do a lot of the email campaigns because the newsletter is perfect. If I was to create my own newsletter, I would create something exactly like is being sent out on our behalf. The only thing I would change is I would want it to be on my own personalized template. But the template that is sent out, I'm anal about making sure everything is branded with my brand, but the image is perfect and it isn't filled with some vibrant color that totally clashes with, my brand. So I'm okay with it. So hopefully you all, if you haven't already added, I'm going to go ahead and close this so that we don't get interrupted by notifications, and move on with the webinar. We do have a couple questions. Dorothy asked, I also was not able to hear anything until just now. I had to go in and out numerous times to now have missed the webinar up until now. Well, Dorothy, it is being recorded. So within 24 hours after the webinar ends, you will be able to go to YouTube, search Agent Studio, and then click on their YouTube page. When you go to videos, you will be able to see today's webinar and the webinar from the previous 2 days. And at the end, I will go there and show you exactly where it's at. You should also be receiving a link in a follow-up email that will direct you. Arlene, I just showed an example of the newsletter. Did you see it, or did you just join? Let me know if you just joined. I will bring it back up at the end of the webinar. And the other marketing that is done by Agent Studio on your behalf is co-op marketing. what the co-op marketing is, in your control panel when you set up, okay, I will definitely, Ariane or Arlene, I will definitely show you that again at the end of the webinar. In your control panel, when you are configuring your website, if you recall, you have a list of suppliers that you can go through and check off. If a supplier comes in, let's say you don't sell Charisma, and Charisma comes to Agent Studio and says, hey, you know, we want to promote our latest special and send out a co-op email. If you have not chosen or checked off Charisma in the suppliers, your clients will not receive that email. The emails are only one email per a 7-day period, and I can honestly tell you, I don't have mine turned off, and my clients rarely get one. So it might be once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks. But again, if you do not want your clients to receive these, you can turn this off. And with the co-op marketing, it does bring a cost to it. And you would see that it's $9.99, and you can see that in your control panel when you go to add on new features. For me, since I'm on the Elite plan, it is the only one that is green for me, because everything else is included in my plan. And the reason why you have to pay to do that is because that's what helps keep the cost of our Agent Studio platform down. And let me jump back. Let me close this out. Okay, so let's jump back into and do a little bit more about, or talk a little bit more about contacts. Now, once you start sending out campaigns, you will start to see some of these different colors along the side of your contacts. Now, I have cleaned mine up because I did database maintenance a few weeks ago. So my contact list is up to date, but anything that is yellow, it says that they have unsubscribed. Okay, anything, and I do suggest that if you have imported your contacts from Facebook or LinkedIn, sorry, I couldn't think of what it was called, LinkedIn, I would leave the unsubscribes in there. I made the mistake of going through and deleting everyone that had unsubscribed, and I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, so I don't know where, if someone was on LinkedIn, if that's where the contact came from. And I did an update from LinkedIn, and unfortunately did add back in a couple people that had unsubscribed. They weren't happy, to say the least. So learn from my mistake. I would let the unsubscribes in there. They do not get your emails. Once they unsubscribe, they don't get them any longer. And it will save you from making the same mistake that I did. Bounce contacts, I delete them. That means either the email address is bad, they no longer work at the company where the email was from. There's an issue at some point. Their email box, it might be too full. Who knows? But that's what bounce contacts mean. So I definitely delete those out and will now not be deleting my unsubscribes. Okay. If you want, once you start creating lists within your marketing center, you can do so by clicking add new list, giving it a name, and then saving. As you can see, I have 2 test boxes in there already, so I'm not going to add another one. But that is how you add different lists. You can see I do birthdays. I'm in the process of adding, all of my clients. I have a lot, so it's taking me a while to go through and putting each client in their respective birthday month. And if we want to add someone into the one of the lists, all you have to do is, and you can see I'm going back up to the master list. You can click add over clear to the right, and what it will show you is all of the folders or lists that you have created. Okay, to add someone to a list, all you have to do is click that and they will automatically be added into that list. Okay. And of course, my computer doesn't want to slide up to get rid of that screen, so I'm going to let it there for now. If you need to edit somebody's name changes, you get some additional information, whatever the case may be, you want to add a note, all you do is click on the pencil and make your changes, click save, and the information for that client is updated. If you need to delete someone, all you have to do is click delete. Okay, or if you're deleting a bunch of people for whatever reason, you can start here and start going down and clicking, and then click the delete. Up where it says select all, there's the delete clear to the right of that. Everybody then that is checked off will be deleted. Okay. Once you have your contacts into the Marketing Center, then as well as receiving the weekend travel, you are able to create your own campaigns. So if you click on Create New, and if you hear that, I also have my daughter's dog is in my office right now. So if you hear some odd noises, a bark here or there, that would be her fairly large mini horse, as I like to call him. So don't be alarmed. Once we're into Create New, you'll see that we have two different sections. One is ready to go themes, and the other one is customizable themes. So ready to go themes are just that. They are ready to be sent out. You don't have to do anything to them. Okay, if we want to preview this, you will see that all of these are the current ads or marketing campaigns and promotions for the Cayman Islands. If you want to send this out, all you have to do is click, and then it brings you into where you can input an email subject. You always have to enter an email subject, and you also have to do an email test. So I'm going to go back a step, and I'm going to show you what happens when the email subject fails, the spam test. Okay, if I click on the Fiesta Americana and click next, now if I put in and I want to put in some punctuation above the letters and run the test. Your spam score has to be below a 1 or it will not pass, and this one wasn't. And the reason why it didn't is because of the punctuation above the E. Now, the reason why it failed because of that is if you have ever noticed when you receive some spam or emails that show up in your junk folder, a lot of times they have the punctuation like that. So because this didn't pass, we would not be able to send out, even if we went to the next step, we would not be able to send this out. The email would not be able to go out because it has to be below a 1.2. Now, I removed the punctuation, and let's see if it will pass now by just removing that. And look, now it's at 0, it's perfect, it's good to go out. So with this, you don't make any changes to this. This is ready to go. So the only thing you have to do now is click next, choose whoever you want it to go out to, your master list, click next again, and you are able to send a preview email, which I will go ahead and send to myself so that we can open it up and you can see what it looks like. It has to go through the system, and once it's been sent, you get this notification at the top. Okay, we'll give that a little bit of time to make it to my inbox. And you can see on the right-hand side, you can schedule when you want this campaign to be sent out. And if you notice, it automatically gives you a time of 10:53. Now, if you're looking at my clock or the time on my laptop, it says 9:30. Okay, Agent Studio is on East Coast time. So it's going to show up that the earliest you can send this out is 10:53. The earliest my time I can send it out is 9:53, because once you set it up and schedule it, it needs time to go through all the processes, all the checks before it will actually be deployed. So it needs those like 20, 23 minutes before it can be scheduled out. You can change the day that you want it to go. You might be ahead of the game and have a super big promo that you want to go out, you know, in January. To change the time, you just click in the hour and minute fields, and you can change them to whatever you want them to be, and then click schedule. We'll give it a minute. While it's thinking, I'm going to go back in and open up my mail. And hopefully, once it opens, it will. Oh, so I already have this up. Arlene, this is what the Weekend Travel newsletter looks like. It contains the top 5 news stories over the previous week, the top 5 most popular deals or promotions that were on our website. And at the bottom, there will be a destination spotlight. And again, any of these items that are clicked will go right back to your website, directing anyone that receives that directly to the promotion or news story or destination that they clicked. And they can also, while they're there, they can see everything else that you have available on your website. So that is the Weekend Travel newsletter. Let me see. Well, maybe that one did go to my junk folder. Yep, here it is. Let me load the remote content, move it to my inbox, and let's open it up. Okay, this is what this particular email will look like when your clients open it up. It has your information. If you have hidden your address, a lot of home-based agents do not like to show their home address at the bottom of their emails or show it on their website. So it will default to the Agent Studio corporate office email address. Okay, and again, if we click one of these, it will take us into our website, and it brings up, oh no, we can't have the puppy playing with the squeak toy. Sorry about that. It brings you to that section on your website. So that gives you a little insight into what one of the email campaigns will look like and what your clients will see. So now let's jump back into the Marketing Center. I'm going to delete this because I don't want that one to go out. And you saw all I did, it was queued up to go out. All I did was click on the delete button and it's now gone. So let's go back into Create New, and I will walk you through how you can customize one of the templates at the top. Okay, the customizable themes. Let's just click on Hotels and Resorts. Click Next. There we go. Okay. Some of the templates, if you like the colors and everything, you can let them show exactly as they are. But if you do want to change up the colors and everything like that, all you have to do is click on the section that you want to change, and you'll see this drop-down menu or drop-down tool show up. You can either type in the hex code if you have it. It could be, if you're like me, you use the same colors. I have them embedded in my brain, so I can type them in, or you can drag the circle around. It will change the change the color. You can change this wheel right here and then get a different shade. So that is how you can easily change the color. The background color, you can change everything that shows up. And once you start changing it, you will see where the section is that it's changing. The font color, maybe you want the font color to be black, or you might want it to be red. As you can see, it is really easy to choose a lot of different colors, but you do want to make sure that whatever you're choosing is still aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I need to scroll down a bit to access this. There we go. Come on, Bessie. And get my laptop to scroll just a little bit more. You can also change the font. I'm a Times New Roman girl, so everything I pretty much send out is Times New Roman. And again, we change the font color. You can change the link color. Let's make it like blue. And you can select a different color border. Okay, so you see, as I change it, you'll see what section or what color is being changed. Once you have that done, you need to add in a subject. And again, make sure the subject is something that will pass. And let's just call this and run the test at the bottom. Give it a second to go through and run its test. It should come back with a 0-0 score. Let's see. Okay, I have a question, so let me grab the question. Question from Jerry. You did mention that these newsletters will automatically be sent to our contacts. That is correct. It goes out once a week, every Thursday morning without fail. And another tip, I sent out a Thanksgiving newsletter on Thanksgiving. What I should have done was to go in and turn off the Agent Studio newsletter just for that day, because my contacts got to emails, and I wasn't even thinking about that. Most didn't mind, but there were, a handful, 10, 12 people that didn't appreciate getting 2 emails from me in the same day. So Arlene said, is it the same newsletter that we agents get from Agent Studio? It is the same layout. Basically, every day we get, Jerry, it was 2 emails because I had set up my own campaign. I created my own Thanksgiving newsletter that I sent out to my clients, set it up like the week before, wasn't even thinking that Thanksgiving was Thursday. and the weekend travel goes out every Thursday. So they received the weekend travel, and then I had mine set up to go out right around 11 o'clock. So then they got my Thanksgiving email. And Arlene, as I mentioned, it is the same layout, but it is not the same information. Some of the news stories might be, but what is included in the weekend travel, it takes the most, whatever top 5 news stories had the most clicks in the previous 7 days. Those are the news stories that are included in the weekend travel. And the same thing with the promotions. And the spotlight, destination spotlight at the bottom is just a random destination that's chosen. Okay, so let me move this just a bit so I can still grab it and still see for new comments. The spam score came back at 0. So then that's perfect. Now at the bottom, you'll see that we have, every time you open a template, you have the same default information. You don't always want to send that out. You may never want to send that out. So if you want to change that at the top, you might just want your agency name to be up there. Okay, we can type that and click save. If you want to bold it, you can highlight it and bold that. Let's click save. Now it changed the content at the top. If you want to change out the image, you will have to delete the image entirely. And then we'll go down to the bottom where it says add new content. Okay, the image is custom content, so you want to click on the first one, and you are brought to this screen. If you have added any pages to your website, you will notice that this is very closely resembles the same page information that you have when you're creating a website page. To insert a new image, all you do is click the image icon. You can either browse your server or you can upload a new image. So let's just upload a new image. And let's go to, whoops, I just had it. Okay, once you have chosen the file, you need to make sure that you click send it to the server so that it is available. Okay, we can change the width. Now, you'll notice as I'm changing the bottom, the top changes. If you want to make them a specific number, all you have to do is click the unlock for the lock ratio, and then you can go ahead and change each individual width and height. If you want a border, you can choose that, whatever you would like. And let's say okay, and you will see the image is now inserted. You'll want to save it. Now, it isn't in the same section that it originally was, so all you do is click on sort, and you just keep popping the image up until it is in the section that you want it to be. Now, if you didn't want to see any of the background color here, all you would have to do is click edit, and you can click the image, go back to the icon, and we can change this a little bit. Okay, and it's just slightly over because it just has a little bit of a scroll bar at the bottom, which is fine. However, it did still leave us with a little bit. So you'd have to make it even larger just to, if you wanted to completely get rid of that. The next section is the section where you can put in any note or message that you would like to send to your clients. Now, this percent symbol with first name and then percent again, these are the merge fields or available keywords that will automatically be inserted when you send this out. So if you want to use their first and last name, you would want to put a space after first name, go up and click on last name, and then put your colon, comma, whatever punctuation you want to put after that. And then you're ready to type the rest of your message, whatever it is that you want your client, you want to send to your client. And again, you can bold this. Now you can't change the font color because over here you've already determined what color you want the font to be. So that's why you can't change any of that up. You can change the size. If you want it in the center. However you want to set this up, you can use all of those features. Now, in the middle or towards the bottom, you'll see this template automatically came with 2 deals. If you don't like those deals, you can delete them. For whatever reason, you don't want to share those out. Now, here's where the integration with Agent Studio, this is why utilizing the Marketing Center that you get for free trumps any of the other paid platforms such as Constant Contact, MailChimp, any of those services, because this information that you're now going to be able to add pulls directly from your website, and that is what allows the information to be clickable and direct your clients right back to your website once they click on something that is included in your website. So keeping with the theme of Belize, I just clicked and it's as easy as that. It takes a matter of seconds to grab that content. Okay, thought there was a new question, but there isn't. That's a destination. So let's go back in and we want to look up a newsletter. Scroll down a little bit and see if there are any newsletters about Belize that we might want to include. Or news stories, sorry, not newsletters. They must have been mentioned somewhere in these articles. They aren't the subject of it, but they must be mentioned somewhere. So let's just choose the first one. Not sure why it didn't give me the image. It should always pull over the image. Okay, there is an image there. Let me just grab this. Okay, there we go. And we have a destination, a news article. Let's go ahead and add a promotion or see if there are any promotions for Belize. Okay. Let's just take the first one. As you scroll down, you can see any of the promotions that would have include Belize. And again, all you have to do is click add to the email. And it is as simple as that. So that little tool right there is what trumps every other marketing center out there. Because when you use those marketing centers, you don't have access. You're going to have to come into your own website. You're going to have to create your own content because there isn't that integration. So you're going to have to basically copy an entire news story, or you're going to have to come in and find the news story. Sorry, you can hear the puppy yawning. Click news and say this is what you want to include. You're going to have to come in here. You're going to have to save this photo. You're going to have to copy the entire article or copy a small sliver of it. And then you're going to have to set that up, try to make it look nice in whatever service you're using. If you want it to lead back to your website, you need to copy this link, then go in and make this image a hyperlink. A lot of nonsense, especially when this marketing center comes included, totally integrated with your Agent Studio website. It's a complete no-brainer. Okay, at the bottom, if you recall when you were setting up in the control panel, we jump back here where we have your social media manager. Everything you set up here, if you look at the bottom, it has pulled in all of those. So those will be linked to the bottom of the newsletter, and if any of your clients click on these, it will take them directly to your Google+, your Facebook, whatever you have set up. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, we do have another question. So what if I wanted to do the Super Bowl? Okay, what about the Super Bowl? You're probably asking, how do I get that content on, how do I link it, Super Bowl newsletter? Perfect. If you have sports travel on your website and there's a certain promotion, you can come in here and, whoops, looks like I have an issue with this. I do have a link for sports travel, so I need to see why that isn't working. But you can come in and do what I just said in a little bit easier fashion, because you're not, let me jump back here. So if I wanted to include something from there, I would do the same thing. I would grab the image. Hey, sorry. I would come in and grab the image, and let's just grab one of these. Let's grab the Dawn Cesar. It's already on my website, so I'm going to, on the server, so I'm going to get that notification. Let me just change this a little bit. And I can make this a hyperlink back to my sports page by grabbing this. And then I need to click on the little chain link, paste the link in there, save it. I also can add text below it if I wanted to. So if I wanted to edit this, come down and hit enter a few times. You can also write, some text about the Super Bowl in here. Talk about your specials, or, you can add some additional hyperlinks to different packages, and you can do that the same way if you wanted to do hypertext for words. Maybe you have Super Bowl special or Super Bowl option 1, and you can highlight this, and if you grab the link to one of the specials and do the same thing, paste the link in there. Now all they have to do, they'll click this, it will take them to option 1 for the Super Bowl, and you can have 2, 3, 4, however you wanted to set that, set the newsletter up. Okay, so at this point, our newsletter would be done. I always click save just as a safety. It usually automatically saves, but it's a habit. Click next, and now we're back to the same screen where we were with the ready-made template. Choose what list you have. If you have a Super Bowl list of people who have contacted you that want information, you can maybe that you just want to click that link or that list. If you don't and you still want it to go out to everyone, click the master list, click next. You can either do one of two things or you can do them both. You can preview your email and see how it's going to look. Now, if we click that, it's taking us back into, would pull up that promotion. Okay, so if everything looks okay, you can close out of the preview. You can send it to yourself and or just go ahead and schedule when you would like the campaign to go out. Okay, I'm going to just skip out of that. And we can, if you're in here and maybe you are busy, you get a call and you didn't get a chance to look at the preview. So you want to look at that before, or look at the preview email that you sent to yourself. Save it as a draft. Okay, and then it will show up in your drafts folder and you can come back in here and grab it at any time. Now, there's two other things that I would like to show you. One of the more popular items is the analytics that are included. So you can take and see how each of your campaigns turned out. You can see who unique opens, click-throughs, bounces, unsubscribes. This one that I sent out on Thanksgiving, Agent Studio is still looking into, because there definitely were unique opens and click-throughs. We just have to figure out why it's showing zeros. But normally, for the most part, everything works perfectly. And you can see I've sent certain things to a couple people. I also use the Marketing Center to send out pre-post emails to clients. If I'm sending them something and I want to know when they've opened it, when they've seen it, I want to see what they've done with it, I use the Marketing Center, because I can come in, look at the analytics, and get all the information about what they've done. Okay, if you have a campaign that you've run and not everybody opened it, you want to rerun it for whatever reason, you can do that by just clicking rerun, and you can choose whether you want to resend it to your entire list, or if you only want to send it to those people that did not open it. And normally this is what you do if this is the norm. You don't resend it to the same people. Give it a different subject line to try to, entice the people that didn't open it to open it the second time around. Schedule it, and then click Schedule Rerun. Okay, that is one of the features of the analytics. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you, something that I've done, is I have a couple, I also, as you know, I send birthday emails out from in here. Okay, so I've created my own template, and I always save it in the drafts, and then I just clone it. Okay, put in this little birthday blurb. I'll use the same one for a year, and then I'll change out like this little emoji or this GIF and for the next year. Okay, so that is one of the templates. I have another template. Let me see. Sent. It's yachting. Let me see if I can clone. Oh, I can actually preview. It's yachting, not cruising. So this template is based off of one that is specifically in our control panel, or the campaign section. And I pulled in all of my information, my colors. So I have two different templates that I use, and they're always set up, and I don't have to recreate the wheel every time I come in and want to schedule a campaign. Like I said, I don't do a lot of full-on out to the entire database campaigns, because why do I need to? The weekend travel pretty much does it all for me. But occasionally, I do send out the birthday emails, holiday emails. If they're, I did the Sea Dream email because I had some super great deals, and I wanted to try to sell a couple more spots or fill a couple more spots on a cruise that I had a block on. So that's the type of campaigns I send out. Again, the weekend travel is amazing. Everyone should take advantage of it. Try it out. At least give it a try. After all, it's free and included. So make sure that you at least give it a try. There is also a help section where you can open a support inquiry, and if the support is online, you can chat with them directly. Okay, again, there are the links to videos, and you can get some FAQs about the Marketing Center as well. Okay, so are there any last questions before I show you where you'll be able to find the replay of the webinar? Or actually, I will bring that up while you're typing your last few questions that you have. Okay, so once you're, again, you will get an email with the link to this very page that I'm going to point out to you. But just in case something happens, you miss it, it doesn't show up, whatever, you'll know exactly where to go.
To be a player in today's...
Now, once you're on their page, click on videos, and you'll see the one from Monday is already up here. I had to actually resend that. It would have been up yesterday, but there was an issue with the transfer of the file. These that are that have this little Agent Studio screen are previous webinars that I've done earlier in the year. But yesterday's video will be here. They'll just start putting them in order, and you'll be able to come here and click and rewatch the video. Okay. Since I do have one more question, Cynthia, I do not know how to get on my site. On your control panel, when what you want to do is, if you have a personal URL, like mine is Taylor and Company Travel, I would go there, or you would type in, if it's abcagency.agentstudio.com. Once you're on that page, let's just go to my home page. To get to your control panel, you just scroll down to the bottom. Let me click out of that, and you can click on Control Panel, and it will bring you to your login page. I have to get rid of this pop-up. Now, because I'm already logged in, it didn't ask me to log in again, but you will be asked for your login information, which is your email and a password that was automatically sent to you, or the password that you changed it to. And then you'll have access to everything you see back here. Okay, so let me see. Darwish, how do I get the chat box or the subscription box on my website? So that is through a third party, and mine is through Pure Chat. There are a ton of different options out there, but basically you just sign up for their service and customize your account, and then it will provide you with the code that you paste right into one of the pages, like your home page, and it will start popping up. All right, so it is after 10, well, 11 for most people, or it's 8, a little after 8 for those on the West Coast, which I will be making sure I keep that in mind when I set up the webinars for the rest of December. I would like to thank everyone for coming. We do have a special promotion. It is Cyber Monday, and Agent Studio has allowed me to extend the promotion through this week to anyone who would like to upgrade their plan. Maybe you're on the starter and you would like to try out the Pro version or the Elite version. You can do so and receive 30% off the original price for the first 3 months of your upgrade. So it's a perfect time to try out another platform. Give it a shot, see if you like the features, learn about them, and you have some time to actually utilize it and see if it works for you before you will be charged the full price. With that being said, I would like to thank everyone for coming. Yeah, I know. He's getting tired. I'm actually hiding his toy, which is why he is barking at me. So I would thank you for coming to the webinar, and hopefully I will see you on one of the webinars later on in the month. The new schedule for the rest of the month will be up later today or first thing in the morning, and you can access that by going to your Agent Studio Academy. All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend.